my friend Tracy, and we are going to cook a dish together. This is something that she had at a restaurant.
Yes.
And she really wants to replicate it. So we obviously don't know the recipe. So we're going to try, and just based on her description, we're going to try and remake it. So during the video, if I talk about amount of ingredients, don't write it down because we may adjust it later. So I will have the final correct recipe and the amounts at the end of the video. All right, so Tracy, why don't you describe your dish so they know what it is that we're trying to achieve?
Well, it was called Angry Shrimp on Creamy Polenta.
Love the name, Angry Shrimp.
So that lets you know it's a little spicy.
Okay.
It had a little kick, and it was laid out beautifully, big tiger prawns on creamy polenta, and there was just a little bit of sauce. So you had the beautiful creamy polenta showing, but it was dribbled with some lovely sauce and tiger prawns arranged, and it was just mouth-watering. So I would love to learn how to make it.
All right. We'll do our best to make it as close to that as possible. You did send me a picture, and I did notice it has some kind of like a tomato sauce-ish. All right, so first thing, let's talk about the base, which was the polenta. And actually, before we do that, let's cheers, because, you know, cooking's always better with wine.
That's right.
And with good friends. All right, so we're going to talk about the polenta. You said it was creamy polenta.
It was creamy, yes.
So there's two different kinds of cornmeal you can use. This is what I normally use when I want to make polenta, but this is much more coarse, a coarse ground than cornmeal. Cornmeal you usually use for cornbread.
Right.
That's like
and
most
dusting.
typical thing. And
dusting when you...
Oh, dusting. What? That's something I didn't know about. So the difference, do you know?
No, I don't know the difference between polenta and cornmeal.
Let me tell you. Thank you for asking. They are both made with corn. It's dried corn ground.
Okay.
Polenta actually is not the name of the ingredient. It's the name of the dish. So the fact that this says polenta on it, technically it just means that it's good for making polenta. Okay. But this is more ground... more coarse ground. This is actually finer.
Oh, okay.
So we made a little bit of both so you can see the difference. And again, because you said creamy, I wanted to use the cornmeal versus the polenta. Okay, and this is what they look like. So this is just already, you can tell it's a lot more creamy.
Yes.
The other thing that will make a polenta creamy is the amount of water that you put in.
Okay.
So if it has more water, it's obviously going to be more liquidy, runny, more, what's the word I'm looking for? Fluid.
Yes.
No, is that a good word?
Yeah, fluid.
Fluid. So these ones that we made, I followed the directions right on the package. It's 4 cups of water to 1 cup of polenta, but as you can tell, it's already kind of set, and it's not, taste it. No, actually, it needs a little salt, but just taste the difference in texture.
Okay. I actually think that this has the texture from the dish we're replicating.
Oh, okay. So would you rather use this one today?
I think so.
Okay, we have both made. So, but we wanted to just kind of, when we put it on the plate, we just kind of wanted to like ooze on the plate. So we need to make it a little creamier. All right, I'm going to turn this on. And to make it more creamy, I'm going to add some butter and some milk. Okay, so this is about, let's call it a tablespoon.
What kind of butter are you using?
I'm so glad you asked. I am using Plugra butter. unsalted. I always use unsalted butter because I want to be able to control the amount of salt in the dish that I'm cooking or sometimes baking. Okay. So always unsalted butter. And I like that brand. It's European style butter. It just tastes, it has more flavor. All right, I think this is going to need a little more milk. And this is why I was saying don't write down
so what I'm doing. You can literally make this ahead of time and then make it creamy for your meal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. If you're going to have this for...
Save a little time.
Yeah, if you're going to have this for dinner, let's say, whether it's for yourself or if you're having someone over, you can cook the polenta per the instructions on the box. And then to make it creamy and to reheat it, you'll add a little bit of milk and butter and it'll make it creamy. Okay, all right, so here's the shrimp. I bought it at the store today, and these are all peeled, but I just wanted to show how I peel my shrimp. So how about you do one and I do one?
Okay.
Okay. So I just start, these are the legs. I just start from this part. You want to keep the tail on just because it looks prettier.
And isn't that for flavor?
It definitely adds more flavor as well. Yes. Okay. Okay. Let's throw that away. Now, when you're buying shrimp, do you know what the difference is between shrimp and prawns?
No.
Nothing.
Okay.
Sometimes people will say prawns for a larger shrimp, but really they both mean the same thing. So when you buy prawns, it is sometimes they will have, I don't know if you've noticed, it'll have a number like 21/25.
Oh, okay.
Have you noticed that before?
Yes. And I don't know what it means.
It means the number of shrimp per pound. It's a size indicator. So if it says 21/25, that means there's about 21 to 25 shrimp or prawns per pound.
Okay.
Okay. So I bought these. These are about medium size, and I had a choice of these, and then there were some other ones that were a little bit smaller. These were from Mexico. The other ones were from Vietnam. I like the taste of the ones from Mexico a little bit better. It just tastes a little bit sweeter to me. So if I know where they came from and I have a choice of Mexico versus Vietnam, I usually like to buy the ones from Mexico. So I'm adding some olive oil to it. That's always a good way to start. Oh, can you get me a white, or a plate, not white, whatever, doesn't matter what kind, what color. So I'm thinking I'm gonna cook the shrimp first and then set it aside and then make the sauce. So we'll put this here. Okay, I'm gonna put the shrimp in. You want the pan hot enough so when I put the shrimp in, it'll sizzle. Just like that. Beautiful. And shrimp cooks really quickly. Into season a little bit more, salt, pepper. I think that the angry part of the angry shrimp, I'm gonna have it come from the sauce that we make later. This is on high heat. And you want to turn it over pretty much as soon as it turns pink. Now I'm gonna take this off the heat once it's cooked on both sides, and then make the sauce in the pan, and then we're gonna put the shrimp back in the pan. So it doesn't need to be cooked fully through. And also the vein in the back of the shrimp, I usually don't take it out. It doesn't bother me, but you can certainly do that as well. Okay, I think this is good enough. I'm gonna put it.
So that was pretty quick, less than a minute.
Yeah, let's call it a minute. And you can see that it's still, I can still see some gray, but again, this is perfect because one, the residual heat will continue cooking it, and also I'm gonna put it back in the sauce. Yes. So if I take it off when it's completely cooked, then I put it back in the sauce, then it's gonna be overcooked. Okay, so you said the sauce is spicy, so we know we're gonna add some heat to it. But we're gonna start first with, oh, thank you for turning that on, or back on. So we're gonna start with some shallots and some garlic that I have chopped. Let's see, is it?
So,
yep, it's hot
since
enough.
you're using freshly chopped garlic,
Yes.
I think that I am like most people. I go for ease.
Yes.
And I buy the pre-chopped garlic.
Okay.
And confession, just for simplicity and ease and all that. Is there a lot of value to freshly chopped garlic, starting with whole cloves?
Well, certainly we all need ease in our busy lives with kids, work, whatever. And I'm all for ease. As far as the pre-chopped garlic, I have found in my experience that it tastes good for like a couple days after you open it, but then it just starts to not really even taste like garlic. So,
so there are other ways you can cut corners with thyme, but not with garlic.
Not with garlic, or at least
spend the time.
I think it's worth it because this was like 2 cloves of garlic. How long did it take to chop? Like not even a minute, or like let's say a minute. Still was pretty easy. Okay, that was probably about like 2 teaspoons of hot stuff, red chili peppers, and then we said before that from the picture that you showed me there was some tomato sauce in it. So I'm gonna add a few things. I'm gonna add my pony tomato, chopped tomatoes. I'm going to add a little bit of wine for flavor and to deglaze the pan. And
could you explain to me what deglazing is?
Deglazing is something that doesn't happen in a pan like this because it's non-stick. So if you have a pan that's not non-stick, so like stainless steel on the inside, when you're cooking your protein, whether it's prawns or chicken or beef or whatever, it'll stick a little bit to the pan. And after you cook whatever it is that you're cooking, you add some liquid, whether it's wine, stock, water, whatever. And deglazing means picking up, with that liquid, picking up the brown bits on the bottom of the pan.
So more flavor.
Much more flavor, yes. If you're going to make any kind of pan sauce, ideally you want to have it in a stainless steel or cast iron, or just something that's not non-stick, because non-stick obviously is not going to stick, so you're not going to have the same effect.
Yes.
So this will probably need some, I'm going to add a little bit, taste it, and then see if it needs more salt. Salt, a little bit of black pepper. I know we have the chili peppers in there, but pepper is, the black pepper is for flavor. So let me give it a stir and then we'll taste it to see what it needs. I put the wine in there. We just want to cook it so the alcohol will evaporate. Ooh, spicy.
Oh, it's very spicy.
Oh, too spicy? Is it too spicy?
Maybe just a little bit more ingredients.
So yeah, that's exactly it. I was going to say, what do you think we should add?
Because the creaminess of the polenta will take away some of the spice. It'll cool it down.
Exactly.
Because you're going to eat it all together.
Yes.
And the sauce gives the flavor to the polenta, even though it's creamy.
Okay, so I add a little bit more tomatoes. I probably need to add a little bit more salt. And then, what were you going to say? A little pepper?
A little wine.
A little wine?
A little extra.
Sure. Why not? Couldn't hurt. Okay. So far, does it kind of look like
it does.
what you had? All right, I'm gonna bring that to a boil, which is getting there. And
because
then,
the polenta is the perfect creamy canvas for something spicy.
yes,
That will cool.
Exactly.
And that's what made the dish so smashing.
Right, so we're going to. This needs to come to a boil. And
it will reduce a little bit?
It'll reduce, the alcohol will evaporate, because as much as we like drinking a glass of wine, it's not necessarily something we don't want to taste the alcohol in our food. Right. All right, and it's best to taste it after it's reduced a little bit.
Okay.
Because then you get a true flavor for what it's going to be like. So to make this make the sauce a little creamier, once it reduces, we're gonna add a couple chunks of butter. This is certainly a step you can skip if you're watching your calories. We'll add a couple of sticks of butter and just kind of whisk it in. And it'll give it a more velvety, creamy texture to the sauce. Let's taste it again. Here, here's a spoon for you.
Thank you.
Is it less spicy?
Oh, that's really good.
That's good. Remember, it has to be angry, so it has to be spicy. Okay, at this point, I am ready to add the prawns in. And I'm gonna add the parsley in. I did a rough chop on the parsley. And really, this is it. This could be, speaking of cutting corners, we're not really cutting corners here, but you cut corners because, especially during the week, you get home from work and you gotta get dinner on the table. This is something that you can so easily do during the week. Yes. As long as you have the ingredients, this takes like no time to cook. Okay?
And you can also make the polenta at a time. So you just literally heat it up.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is
I mean, this is also good with, I know we're trying to replicate the plate that you had at the restaurant, but I'm going to turn this down. But I want to whisk it in because I want it to kind of emulsify with the sauce. And this will be the last one I'll add. It adds a velvety creaminess to the sauce. But this would be good over pasta.
Mm-hmm. Delicious.
Or with just like chunks of crusty bread. Oh, I can't wait to taste this. Okay, this looks good. Let's plate it up. Okay, I'm gonna plate it. Put some polenta in the center. And then I'm gonna add some sauce first and then put the shrimp on top. There you go. How about one more? Okay, ready to taste?
I am.
Okay, go ahead, you taste it first.
Okay. Just gonna dig right in. Oh, that's really good.
Is it close to what you had?
It's very similar.
Okay.
It's
very similar, but this one's better? Is that what you mean to say?
It is delicious.
Okay. Awesome. Well, here we go. Angry shrimp. Thank you, Tracy, for cooking with me.